Hi, this is Evander Holyfield, and you are talking sports with Randy Harris.
Randy's on the sports scene, he's working all the time. Brings you all the scores you need, so get him on the line. Pick up the phone and call him now and say what's on your mind. They should pay him double, cause he's working overtime.
This is Evander Holyfield.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Don't think he believes it.
This is Larry Hirsch.
Craig Lamont,
Jim Palmer.
Tony Fernandez, Hardy Nickerson.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Randy.
Bill Murphy.
My two-man Randy Savage.
Dre Nitschke.
Chris Evert.
George Foreman, and I'm talking sports with Randy Harris.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Randy Harris. I don't think he believes it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It's very important you don't stink today.
The Macho Man Randy Savage, and when I want to catch up on all the sports, I listen to the Randy Harris Show. That's the bottom line.
Hey everybody, what is going on? This is Wegs, welcoming you on this gorgeous June 7th, another Friday. Hope everybody was able to make it through the tropical storm okay. Probably were forced to get out some scuba gear, some snorkel gear, dealing with the pool you now have in your backyard. But hopefully everybody made it through everything okay, with as little damage as possible, and is enjoying this very sunny Friday, the calm after the storm. So now, all of that being said, we get to talk some sports. A lot of stuff that's been going on over the last week. I'm actually glad that we get to talk about so much stuff, considering I am by myself this week. Randy is out of town, getting to take a little bit of a much-needed, much-deserved vacation, getting to spend some time with the family. So, you guys get to talk with me, or at least listen to me. I'd like you to give a call and give some of your opinions on everything we have to talk about, and you can do that. Give us a call, 866-826-1340, 826-TAN-1340. And, of course, unless you've been living under a rock for the last week, hopefully you have heard at least a little bit about the most recent PED scandal. And this is sort of a resurfacing of a previous scandal over in the Miami area. There had been the aging clinic, the anti-aging clinic, if you will. They had gone out of business, and all of a sudden, all these reports are coming out with players' names, Major League Baseball players having their names on lists as potential or as customers. They had been going to this place and had either been seeking consultation or getting some sort of products from them. Something along those lines, and more recently there's been a list of a little over 20 players. And again, just to rehash that a little bit, we had A-Rod coming back up in the mix of this. We have Ryan Braun's name coming back up since his issue with his PED test coming back as a positive back. That was last year now. Also, Melky Cabrera, Mr. Fake Website. I don't use synthetic testosterone up there in Toronto. Now, he had even gone as far as to give back the All-Star Game MVP award he had won in the middle of last season when he tested positive the first time. Bartolo Colon, him coming up, he's already had one suspension. He could be facing a second one as well. Jesus Montero, just a lot of big names coming out, and especially with Ryan Braun, he stands to, in my opinion, lose the most if anything comes out that he was indeed using I think everybody sort of assumed he was in the first place. The way they went about fighting his test, his positive test after his MVP year, going after the courier himself, going after technicalities, not really saying that he didn't take, just the fact that the samples were mishandled, this, that, the other thing. And the way he fought it really makes him be the big loser if he ends up getting taken down. He would basically be the Lance Armstrong of Major League Baseball, just with his vehement denial, his brash behavior even. A-Rod, obviously a bigger name, but I don't think he's has as much to lose. I think pretty much everybody would be in agreement considering how little he's been playing recently and his lack of performance when he has been playing. It's really been just a big cluster for the New York Yankees and having to continue to pay his guaranteed money of his $275 million contract. Yeah, it's nothing new for him, really. He's been in so much controversy of late. Nobody really is surprised. But I don't know. There's going to be plenty more coming out in the near future, and I hope this is a heat-seeking missile for anybody and everybody that's involved with this, regardless of what team, regardless of what level, regardless if they're a superstar or not. I really hope that this blows up in all of these guys' faces. And I want to hear what everybody else has to think about it. 866-826-1340. Is this investigation, is this timing, is this good for baseball? Should other players be happy this investigation is ongoing? Should the fans be happy this is ongoing? I know a lot of people like having the home runs. They like seeing guys who are throwing 95, 97, 99 into the 8th and 9th innings as starters. They want to see records broken. What are your thoughts? I personally think that this is a good thing. They need to clean up baseball badly. These players, when they put up gigantic numbers, they end up getting these huge contracts, which is good for them. I completely support going out, doing the best you can, performing to your abilities, and trying to get on a team somewhere that's going to pay you what you think you deserve. Now you basically are falsifying your numbers, and it's a lie. But when the players get paid the kind of money they have been getting paid because they've been using these PEDs, that means that's all going to be going in, not into, but out of the fans' pockets. Because the more the franchise has to spend, then that's more the fans have to spend just to go to the game. The ticket prices go up, concessions go up, parking goes up. And you're getting to the point where you're just putting more money into cheaters' pockets, and it'll end up keeping people from showing, in my opinion, it will keep people from showing up to baseball games because they can't afford to. They don't want to. And when all this happens, the players and the franchises don't really matter because people will still watch on TV. And they're getting a cut of that money as well. So it takes away from the experience of the game because people don't want to go and pay $20 for a beer, a hot dog, and a small thing of popcorn. That's outrageous. They don't want to spend $15, $20 on parking alone. And so we as fans get hit. Also, in my experience, I mean, I've played at what I would consider somewhat higher levels of baseball. I played into college. I played for Team USA back in the day. So I played against and with a lot of good baseball players, good and above average. And those guys, the above average guys, were competing against some of these PED users to get into higher level, to get into minor leagues. I've seen a lot of people who were just on that cusp, but they were beat out by other guys. So this is also taking away from people who are playing the game clean. They are legit players. They are using their personal abilities as opposed to performance-enhancing drugs to get them to that next level. And it's completely unfair. So as ball players, I would say they would agree with the investigation. They appreciate the cleanup that could happen. Hopefully MLB ends up taking everybody out behind the shed, really, really doing some damage when it comes to penalties, be it fines, be it suspensions, banning from baseball, whatever. So what can you say? I mean, it's a money game, though. It's money ball. Baseball wants to have the excitement. They want to have the big contracts because they end up making bigger money long term anyway. I want to hear people's thoughts. 866-826-1340. That's just a little bit. We can hit on that more later. Let's stay here locally, talk about the Rays a little bit. Just had the draft yesterday. Interesting choices, what they're going for. Their first pick was the 21st overall in the draft. They picked an 18-year-old high school catcher named Nick Schufo out of Lexington High School in South Carolina. I'm not sure if I really like this pick. At least if you're picking a catcher, I think you need to pick somebody who's already had a little bit more time to mature and develop. Catcher, and I might be a little bit biased as a catcher. That was my primary position. I'm of the opinion that guys need to develop a little bit more before they start worrying about signing contracts, playing in the minors. You get a lot of experience playing in college ball. I know I did. And so you have a little bit more time to stew, and then you can, as a franchise, get a little bit more of a polished player, and you can have that little bit more instant gratification when it comes to your investment. You have to wait a long time for a catcher to develop more, make sure his mind is right, make sure he calls a game properly, has a good mental hold on the game. So I think there's a huge risk in picking this guy out of high school with your first pick. And I really, really hope the Rays don't try to wait until he is ready to come up to the majors to get rid of Molina. I mean, yes, I completely understand he is a guy that is able to get you a lot of called strikes, get you a lot more outs. Defensively, he is a stud. He is there. I understand that. Offensively, he is nowhere near what you need to have. I think even this kid, Nick Schufo, would be able to do a better job now. He's a left-handed hitter, which is a good commodity to have as a catcher, and has a pretty decent power swing. Got a little bit of pop in his bat. He's 6'1", 205. But I really hope that Molina isn't the answer until Schufo is ready to come up through the system and come up to the big leagues. So Matt Moore, he's been the star on the pitching staff. 8-0 going into his last game up in Detroit, and he was miserable. He ended up getting through 6 outs. It took him 86 pitches to get 6 outs. His command was not there. It was an abysmal showing for him. And you know what? I'm glad. I'm really glad this happened, especially at this point in time. Yeah, it was cool. He was 8-0. If he had gone 9-0, he would have been the first first guy, I think it was at least at the age of 23, to go 9-0 since, I think the stat was first time since 1916, something along those lines. And that's all fine and dandy, but instead of the short-term record or whatever you want to call it, recognition at least, I would say you want to get something like this out of your system now. I think even at the age of 23, he is going to be able to take this and learn more of a lesson from it. He will be able to take that and really keep it going for the rest of the season. I think if he's able to do so, won't have a problem competing for even AL Cy Young type numbers. Going into it, he was 8-0 and a 2.18 ERA. So he's certainly an all-star for this season. He deserves the votes for that. Speaking of all-star voting, Evan Longoria, one of the Rays' perennial all-stars, you'd think he'd be doing well, but he's actually fourth right now in overall voting. Pretty easy to figure out who number one is. Miguel Cabrera being first. He has over 1.5 million votes. And just as the Triple Crown winner last season, from what I've seen, he's actually doing better this season. So no surprise there. Manny Machado out of Baltimore has been a surprising player. He's about, I think, 700,000 or 800,000 votes right now. But he's been a pretty decent player up there, although all of the O's have been doing fairly well. They're in third place right now in the East, and you have to expect that if it's a team managed by Buck Showalter. Got the Fighting Showalters up there. He just knows how to put a good team together, and the players respond. Obviously, if Machado's doing this well at such a young age, and then Adrian Beltre down in Texas is third. So fans need to do more voting for Evan Longoria. He definitely deserves that. Even if he's not one of the starters, he can, or one of the normal voting, he can be one of the extra votes, the extra players at the end. So anyway, it is 2:18. We're a little bit late for our break, so we'll hit this break and got plenty more to talk about on Talking Sports right after this.
This is Jimmy Kimmel from blank. Am I supposed to say from blank? No. And you're Talking Sports. Your is supposed to be spelled Y-O-U''RE with an illiterate man, Randy Harris.
You're hungry. Where do you go to eat?
Berg Sports Bar and Grill.
You want to have a drink? Where do you go?
Berg Sports Bar and Grill.
Having a get-together with the guys from the softball team? Where do you do it?
That's right, Berg Sports Bar and Grill.
Located at 1320 Central Avenue, St. Petersburg, right across from Tropicana Field. Berg's is the best place to take the whole family for food and fun. Going to a Rays game? Have dinner before the game at Berg's, and after the Rays win, come and celebrate with all your friends at Berg's, right across from the Trop. So come down and see Berg and the whole gang at Berg Sports Bar and Grill.
Berg Sports Bar and Grill.
Regal Entertainment Group, where we do entertainment big. Regal Cinemas Theaters feature stadium seating, crystal clear picture quality, and the latest of digital surround sound. Interested in free movies, popcorn, soft drinks, and more? Join the Regal Crown Club. Membership is free. As a member, you'll earn credits for free concessions and movie tickets, learn about monthly offers, and can create your own personalized movie page. Sign up at regmovies.com or at any Regal Cinemas Theater. Become a Regal Crown Club member today.
At Tour de Pizza, we pride ourselves on making delicious, healthy food at an affordable price. Signature pizzas, fresh salads, hearty subs, and calzones. Tour de Pizza has it all and offers dine-in, carry-out, and delivery service. Tour de Pizza is located at 4th Street in St. Petersburg, so give them a call today at 727-895-5555. That's 727-895-5555. You'll be glad you did.
Celebrate your passion for the ultimate fighting championship at the UFC Fan Expo presented by Fox Sports 1 on Friday and Saturday, July 5th and 6th at the Mandalay Bay Convention Center. Meet your favorite fighters and industry icons. Attend special Q&A sessions and keynote addresses. Train with legends of the sport. Participate in grappling and fitness challenges, and so much more. UFC Fan Expo, presented by Fox Sports 1 in Las Vegas, July 5th and 6th. The ultimate fan experience. Tickets and exhibitor space available now at UFCFanExpo.com.
You're hungry. Where do you go to eat?
Berg Sports Bar and Grill.
You want to have a drink? Where do you go?
Berg Sports Bar and Grill.
Having a get-together with the guys from the softball team? Where do you do it?
That's right, Berg Sports Bar and Grill.
Located at 1320 Central Avenue, St. Petersburg, right across from Tropicana Field, Berg's is the best place to take the whole family for food and fun. Going to a Rays game? Have dinner before the game at Berg's, and after the Rays win, come and celebrate with all your friends at Berg's, right across from the Trop. So come down and see Ferg and the whole gang at Berg Sports Bar and Grill.
Berg Sports Bar and Grill.
Hey, this is Dylan Hart Jr., and you're talking sports with Randy Harris.
Hey, let's go back to the Talking Sports Show.
And welcome back. Second segment, Talking Sports. You're here with Wegs. We got Randy out of town, being a slacker, taking vacation, so it's just me. But got plenty of stuff to talk about and love to talk about it with you as well. So 866-826-1340. Give me a call and we can discuss anything you guys want, whatever you feel is appropriate for the show. Try to keep it appropriate here. The whole FCC thing. Bucks added a kicker just a couple days ago. Dimke. He had been actually the most accurate kicker in University of Illinois history. They deemed that necessary because while they had signed Nate Kading earlier in the year, he decided it was a good idea to retire, which is kind of bad because he was a fairly solid kicker through his college days at Iowa and ended up getting drafted by the Chargers. Did really well there. I think he even set some accuracy records, season long records. But signed Dimke just a couple days ago. He'll be able to compete for the job. I don't think there's going to be any sort of question whether or not it's going to be Barth or Dimke. We'll see. I think Connor, especially the numbers he's put up recently, will seal his fate there as the number one kicker for the Bucks. Even let's see what else has been going on. It's been really, really quiet over the OTAs. Not too much has been going on, which I would say is good news. Nobody's getting hurt or anything like that. I will say that I saw an article on Deshaun Goldson helping out some of the rookies that were just signed. Actually, it was both Goldson and Revis. Revis wasn't able to do too much. He was being more of a mentor than actually participating in some extra drills. But Deshaun Goldson and Revis were helping out some of the other corners and safeties. So it looks like he's they're both fitting in well, being able to spread their knowledge. Obviously, they know what they're doing, and Bucks looking good. Randy always says it. I understand what he says. You have to wait until they get onto the field, but right now, I'm liking what I'm seeing. I still think they're a playoff team. Want to hear? Does anybody else think that? I do. Are we going to be seeing any games on TV? Are people going to be showing up because they like the product that's on the field? Is that something we have to look forward to? And I definitely think that's a possibility going to the playoffs. How far? I don't know. But Freeman putting up numbers like he did last year, considering the protection he got from up front with muscle hamster Doug Martin doing what he did, what he does best. Biggest problem was on the secondary. Those issues, I will say, have been addressed, and looking for big things out of the Bucks. Sticking with football, we have the Storm hosting the Orlando Predators on Saturday up at the Tampa Bay Times Forum. Storm so far this season are 7-4. They're 2-1 in the Southern Division, hosting the Orlando Predators, who are 2-8 overall, 0-3 in the division. This will be the second matchup, and the Storm handled Orlando up in Orlando 53-35. So that's always a plus, winning on the road. I think they're actually perfect on the road right now. All their losses have been here. And so we'll see how that goes. The last game for the Storm was a last-second win over the Iowa Barnstormers. And that was actually a pretty important game because that kept them within one game of the South Division leaders for the Jacksonville Sharks. So, actually, speaking of Jacksonville, that reminds me, I was watching Conan O'Brien last night, and he had a one-liner in his monologue. Apparently, I had not heard about this before, but apparently some rapper had been arrested for stabbing an NFL player. Well, when he stabbed the NFL player, he was actually charged with impersonating an NFL player. So I got a little bit of a kick out of that, but that's also why, if you look at that seriously, that is exactly why you cannot have a team, an NFL team, move to London, or really anywhere else for that matter. You can't move the Jacksonville Jaguars over there. You can't move the Bucks over there, just as a for example. That might be brought up considering the Glazers own Manchester United. They might want to move the team over there. I think that's way, way far-fetched, way too out there. And you have so many players that have issues, be it with the law, be it whatever, that they wouldn't be able to get a visa to travel in the first place. So you try to get them over to London, the team over to London, you'd have issues. You try to get visiting teams into London, you'd have issues. And I keep on harping on this visa thing because it's actually something that's a very real issue that we have seen recently, especially in the MMA world. We've seen that with Mark Hunt. He just was fighting at UFC 160. He fought JDS. Great fight to watch, by the way. If you have a chance to find it online or somewhere, watch that fight. Great fight to watch. He was having issues with his visa from New Zealand to the States because of an arrest he had back in 2002. Tyrone Spong of World Series of Fighting. He's having visa issues. He hasn't been able to fight and fulfill his contract. Paul Simtex Daly with Bellator, same thing. And it's been a little bit more of an issue with him because he has tried to fight with other organizations and Bellator won't let him because they don't want one of their bigger name fighters getting hurt and not even able to compete for them once everything's worked out. Plus, you have the logistics. I mean, it's a however many hour time difference. I think it's from the East Coast, 5 to 6 hours, 4 to 5 hours, depending on daylight savings time. So a West Coast team, not happening. I mean, that's 7-8 hours. And if, God forbid, the London team makes the playoffs, how jazzed is a team going to be to go play in London in the playoffs because London has the home field advantage? That is going to be miserable. And obviously they would definitely not be able to have a Super Bowl there. Not in late January or early February. That would not be happening. No, I don't think anybody would really go. It would be hard to get people to travel over there. Hard to get the teams there. Just way too many logistical issues. Really hard to do. Not happening. I don't agree with that. Let me know what you think. 866-826-1340. Not only that, but just got a tweet from Randy. He said, if we have next person to call in and be on air, we'll get a post-share sell prize pack. So 866-10-1340. We have a prize pack to give away. We can talk football. We have NHL playoffs. We have Game 4 between Pittsburgh and Boston. Boston's up 3-0 there. Game 5 for Chicago in L.A. Chicago's leading the series 3-1 there. Great. I love watching playoff hockey. That's a really, really, really great experience. Just sitting there watching. It sucks that the Bolts aren't in it because being there and experiencing it is way better. But we've seen some really, really good quality hockey between Pittsburgh and Boston. Long game. Game 3 was a really long game, double overtime, with Patrice Bergeron getting the double overtime goal to put Boston up 3-0. Boston's a little bit of an older team, actually. So one of the big things they have to worry about is just trying to stay fresh and be able to play as hard as they need to put another win up to sweep Pittsburgh. That's going to be really big for them, especially if LA wins against Chicago in Game 5, because that'll just give them a little bit more recoup time. So they really, really need to dig deep and win Game 4. Chicago in LA, they're up 3-1, and you're seeing, in my opinion, it's comparable to what the Red Sox did in 2004. Chicago was down, I think it was 3-1 in the last series to Detroit. They were the number 1 seed going in. They had started the season like a house on fire, win 20-plus games in a row, and they're down 3-1, come back, dig deep, push it to Game 7, and then get there's the controversial call late in the third period. They get the goal disallowed, tie game, go to overtime, finally win it. So, really exciting thing. They have fought through a lot, and now they've kept the pedal to the metal, and they just keep on winning. Just keep on winning. And even Quick hasn't been able to keep up with Chicago's offense. As good of a goalie he is, he hasn't been what we saw last season when they were able to win the Stanley Cup. So not too much time left for for LA, considering this momentum, this huge momentum swing that Chicago has been experiencing for these last couple weeks, really. Fighting through the Detroit series and then keeping on going for LA. One thing I want to bring up, something that's very, very near and dear to me, horse racing. We have Belmont Stakes coming up tomorrow. Very much looking forward to that. I have been, not going to lie, I've been very much on the Napravnik, the Rosie Napravnik bandwagon so far. I picked her to finish second in the Derby when she was riding my loot. She finished 5th. I picked her again second for the Preakness. She finished 3rd. And now she's on a different horse. She's got a different horse on unlimited budget, who's a filly running in this race. This is the 24th time a filly's run in the Belmont. And I think they have a really good shot. Actually, unlimited budget, when she first started running, she ran her first start and won by 9.5 lengths. And that was just in last November. And then won 3 straight stakes races. The second of which was a Grade 3 stakes, the Rachel Alexandra, which Rosie Napravnik was her jockey. So I think they have some experience together. And just with the way Napravnik has done recently, I think she has a chance to be in the top 3. Of course, people are all on Orb and Oxbow because they won the Kentucky Derby and the Preakness respectively. I think if I have to pick between those two to win, I go with Oxbow. It's hard to pick against a Dwayne Lucas, Gary Stevens combo, especially with the way Oxbow won in the Preakness. Orb just was nowhere to be seen. And everybody, I think Orb went off at something stupid like 5-2. Currently at 3-1, Oxbow's 5-1. I like Oxbow in this. Revolutionary also has a shot going off at 9-2 right now. Todd Pletcher trained and Jose Castellano up right now. Hopefully nobody scratches. So I'm looking probably top 2 is Oxbow, Revolutionary, or Oxbow and Unlimited Budget. And it should be exciting. It's not quite Kentucky Derby. It's not quite the most exciting 2 minutes in all of sports. I stand by that. I don't care what Randy says. But it should be an exciting race tomorrow. Coming up in the next segment, plenty more to talk about. We still have Spurs Heat to talk about. Jason Kidd retiring. Got a little bit more football news. So hang with us, and we'll talk to you in a second, right after this break.
Is your significant other nagging you about cleaning out the garage? Or spending too much on a storage unit? Needing to sell or purchase new or used equipment for your business? PostShareSell.com is your solution. A cool and innovative way to buy, sell, or trade online. With an easy-to-use mobile phone app and built-in sharing capabilities, post a free ad in less than 60 seconds. PostShareSell.com. It's as easy as 1, 2, 3. Post it, share it, sell it.
AM 1340 WTAN is your flagship station for Dunedin Blue Jays baseball. The DJs have won 3 straight division titles, and they're taking to the airwaves in 2013. Join Tyler Murray for nearly every home game at Florida Auto Exchange Stadium, and select road games as well. It's the most exciting season in Blue Jays history. Dunedin will host the All-Star Game, a car show, pizza night, and much more. The Florida State League affiliate of the Toronto Blue Jays plays on AM 1340 WTAN.
If you want to look your best, you need Mick for hair. Mick Ferrari is Tampa Bay's hairstylist to the stars. Mick has spent 25 years keeping the Bay Area beautiful and is the official hair care provider for Talking Sports. To look your best, you need to go to the best. And the best in the Bay is Mick Ferrari. For information or to book your consultation with Mick, visit his website at mickforhair.com. That's mickforhair.com. Call Mick for Hair direct at 727-573-9711. That's 573-9711.
Great food and good times at Babalu Restaurant and Bar, located at 9246 4th Street North in St. Petersburg. From the breakfast, Atkins, and full menu to the beer, wine, and liquor bar, Babalu Restaurant has it all. Check out their menus online at babalueats.com and then dine in, carry out, or get it delivered. Wings, burgers, sandwiches, and much, much more for the whole family at Babalu Restaurant and Bar in St. Pete on 4th Street and 92nd Avenue.
Hey, let's go back to the Talking Sports Show.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. We are live for the last 20 minutes. Randy up out of town, decided to take a break. Lucky guy. So you guys have to deal with me. 866-826-1340. Give us a call. And we have a post-share sell gift pack to give away as well. So, moving on from there, we have, let's see, Jason Kidd retired, decided to hang him up after 19 seasons. And really, from the get-go, he's been, for the entire 19 seasons, just one of those players that made everybody better. He was co-rookie of the year in 1995 with Grant Hill, and he'd end up being a 10-time All-Star. Really great player. He's actually third in career triple-doubles behind Oscar Robinson and Magic Johnson. But going back to him making other people better. Second in career steals and assists, both behind John Stockton. So it's a pretty good career to really go out on a high note. He didn't, though, which sucks because he also was third in career 3-point shots made. Almost had 2,000 3-pointers made. Also, two-time Olympic gold medalist. Played for Team USA both in 2000 and 2008, won golds. And he's actually also the only player in NBA history. I thought this was pretty cool. Over 15,000 points, over 10,000 assists, and 7,000 rebounds. So, putting himself in the annals of NBA history. Didn't really hear too much from him towards the end of his career, which was sad. Didn't get to go out on the high note that somebody like that deserves. He actually missed his last 10 shots that he took. And really the biggest thing he did recently was in his second stint with the Mavericks in 2011, won his one and only championship. So unfortunate that we have to see Jason Kidd go. But sticking with basketball, obviously we have the finals. We had game 1 last night. Heat didn't do quite as well as they were hoping. They did drop it 92-88. So at least just in the box score, it looks like a fairly close played game. Maybe Larry would have a different opinion on that. But I think the 8 turnovers had a huge deal, a huge part of why the Heat didn't win. Spurs only had 4, which is a number. It ties them for an NBA Finals low, which was set by the Pistons actually against them in 2005. That was on June 16th in 2005. But turnovers, obviously a huge part of the game. And in a game that close, that's probably what did it. The Spurs defensively were able to keep LeBron relatively quiet as you can keep LeBron and still have him get a triple-double, which he did. He had 18 points, 18 rebounds, and 10 assists. But timing is everything, and especially in the finals. I was talking about Jonathan Quick being such an impressive, having such an impressive performance last season during the finals of the NHL playoffs and not doing so well. And obviously, his team is on the wrong side of a 3-1 series right now. James only had 6 of his 18 points in the fourth quarter, and obviously, he's the one you're looking to close things out. If you know that you are going to need, this is going to be a close game, or you're down by a little bit, you need that little extra. That's the guy you're looking to, and you need him to perform in the fourth quarter. That being said, that's exactly what they had, the Spurs had with Tony Parker. He had 21.6 assists, 0 turnovers, obviously helping keep that turnover number low with that. But 10 of his 21 points came in the fourth quarter. He was pretty much on fire, being that senior leader and really helping take his team to the next level in the fourth quarter. Big Tim Duncan, also had 20 points, 14 rebounds, getting his double-double. Age was able to outlast the physical strength, stamina, endurance of the Heat. And is this something that we can expect to see for the rest of the finals? Are the Spurs going to be able to hold off the Heat once again and get another championship before Duncan retire? Normally you would think that a team that has the superstars like the Heat would be able to do well because you're combining the physical ability with age. They have older players now. They got Allen. They have Allen, Gary Payton. Wade's an older player. LeBron is an older player. They have more experience. And obviously by old, I'm not saying they're actually old. More experienced, I should say. So you put all that together and you would think that the Spurs really wouldn't be able to keep up with the physical ability and the experience that Heat now have. Obviously, we saw that was a different thing. And actually, James wasn't even on the floor. Neither James nor Wade were on the floor to start the fourth quarter last night. Why was that? Who knows? I mean, maybe they needed a rest. Maybe this, that, the other thing. Bottom line, if you're in the NBA Finals and you're in the fourth quarter of any game, why are your two best players both on the bench? You don't even have to have both players on the court. Have at least one of them playing. That's what you're paying them to do. They get you to the finals. They have to be there to play all of the fourth quarter. You're going to need them when the rubber meets the road. And as Randy has said in the past, they're the ones that get you there, but especially once you get to that point, everybody else around them is really relying on them to lead them. But it's the other players that are also going to be the standouts that are going to end up winning the championships. I certainly agree with that. Give us your thoughts, 866-826-1340. We have a prize pack to give away. Call it in, give us your thoughts. What else do we have? There's actually a couple other smaller things going on in the area. Actually I want to throw a plug out to the Tampa Bay Classic bodybuilding competition. I do have some friends that are competing in this. This is up at Gaither High School, North Tampa, up on North Del Mabry. Interesting experience. If you've never experienced anything like this before, I definitely suggest you go up and take a look. It begins, there's the 9 o'clock to 2 p.m. Tomorrow. That's the prejudging. That's where all the competitors go up. Judges get a chance to see the competitors for the first time, take initial notes and whatnot. Then there's a couple-hour break, and then the finals, that's where the actual show happens. That is from 6 to 10 tomorrow night. Again, Gaither High School Auditorium. Head up there. Go support everybody up there. Learn. It'd be a great learning experience. There's going to be people up there, not just bodybuilders, but people who are into fitness, who are into nutrition. So it's also worth it to just talk to other people, get some opinions. You might even learn something for yourself, help you get into a little bit better shape, get a little bit of a better diet, learn some stuff, make things easier for you to get some weight off, keep the weight off, get healthy, and give it a shot. Tomorrow, 9 to 2 is the prejudging, 6 to 10 is the finals, and we will go ahead. We will hit our final break, hit our last 10 minutes of the show, and got a little bit more news to be talking about. Stick around, and we'll talk to you in the next segment.
Is your significant other nagging you about cleaning out the garage? Or spending too much on a storage unit? Needing to sell or purchase new or used equipment for your business? PostShareSell.com is your solution. A cool and innovative way to buy, sell, or trade online. With an easy-to-use mobile phone app and built-in sharing capabilities, post a free ad in less than 60 seconds. PostShareSell.com. It's as easy as 1, 2, 3. Post it, share it, sell it.
You're hungry. Where do you go to eat?
Berg Sports Bar and Grill.
You want to have a drink? Where do you go?
Berg Sports Bar and Grill.
Having a get-together with the guys from the softball team? Where do you do it?
That's right, Berg Sports Bar and Grill.
Located at 1320 Central Avenue, St. Petersburg, right across from Tropicana Field, Berg's is the best place to take the whole family for food and fun. Going to a Rays game? Have dinner before the game at Berg's, and after the Rays win, come and celebrate with all your friends at Berg's, right across from the Trop. So come down and see Berg and the whole gang at Berg's Sports Bar and Grill.
Berg Sports Bar and Grill.
AM 1340 WTAN is your flagship station for Dunedin Blue Jays baseball. The DJs have won 3 straight division titles, and they're taking to the airwaves in 2013. Join Tyler Murray for nearly every home game at Florida Auto Exchange Stadium, and select road games as well. It's the most exciting season in Blue Jays history. Dunedin will host the All-Star Game, a car show, pizza night, and much more. The Florida State League affiliate of the Toronto Blue Jays plays on AM 1340 WTAN.
Celebrate your passion for the Ultimate Fighting Championship at the UFC Fan Expo, presented by Fox Sports 1 on Friday and Saturday, July 5th and 6th at the Mandalay Bay Convention Center. Meet your favorite fighters and industry icons. Attend special Q&A sessions and keynote addresses. Train with legends of the sport. Participate in grappling and fitness challenges, and so much more. UFC Fan Expo, presented by Fox Sports 1 in Las Vegas, July 5th and 6th. The Ultimate Fan Experience. Tickets and exhibitor space available now at UFCFanExpo.com.
This is Hall of Famer Deacon Jones, and we're talking sports with Randy Harris.
Hey, let's go back to the Talking Sports Show.
And welcome back, everybody. Wanted to make sure we got in the Deacon Jones liner because this past week the world lost an incredible player. Deacon Jones, December 9th, 1938 to June 3rd, 2013. Played defensive end for 3 different teams. The LA Rams, the San Diego Chargers, and the Redskins. Hall of Famer, inducted in 1980. Was actually the guy that coined the term sacking the quarterback. So that is how influential a player like this was to the game. I mean, he basically created a stat, and not only that, but a stat that really the majority of defensive players in the league nowadays, they're held to that standard, and that's something that really obviously is a huge part of the game, and was breaking through some barriers. Actually, a significant part of the civil rights movement, he actually had his scholarship revoked. He'd gone to South Carolina State, and they revoked his scholarship once they realized that he had been a part of the civil rights movement. And so once that happened, he actually didn't play for a full year and didn't get that year back. Just had his final season at the Mississippi Vocational College, which I believe nowadays is Mississippi Valley State, same college that Jerry Rice went to. But he was actually a 14th round draft pick, and I would say that's probably a pretty good return on your investment if you're the LA Rams. Get a guy like that for the 14th round and ends up just tearing through offensive lines. Obviously, since he coined the term sack, there are some unofficial numbers out there. But if you go back and look, the mid to late 60s were just phenomenal for him. His sack total was 173 and a half in 190 games played, with his best seasons being 67. He had 26 sacks, 68, 24 sacks, had 22 and 64. So, huge player, very, very influential, both in the community and on the field. So we are definitely sad to lose Deacon Jones at the age of 74 of natural causes at his home in Anaheim Hills, California. So, that being said, I was on the conference call yesterday for the World Series of Fighting event that is June 14th. That is headlined by John Fitch and Josh Berkman. John Fitch, not sure if you guys have paid much attention to it, but obviously he's a really good fighter of UFC fame, and he was top 10 in the UFC when he was cut, so that came as a little bit of a surprise to some people, except for him. Actually, during the call itself, he said that it wasn't a surprise at all because he always felt that he was fighting for his job. And even though he had been fighting for the UFC, never really felt they wanted him around. So he's very, very glad to be with the World Series of Fighting and be fighting for people as opposed to fighting against not only his opponent in the cage, but also the organization. So I thought that was an interesting bit of information he shared. He also said that as a 35-year-old fighter, he's been able to stay away, getting a little bit back to performance-enhancing drugs or TRT. He said that he's been able to stay away from all of that sort of junk, which is what we would hope and expect for professional athletes. But he stayed away from it. He's a 35-year-old fighter. He plans on continuing to fight. He doesn't see himself retiring very soon at all. So he wants to fight till at least 40. And specifically brought up that if he makes it to 40 and he wants to keep on fighting, even though he has avoided TRT or anything like that up till this point, he will actually consider starting to use TRT specifically to keep him physically able to fight at the level needed past the age of 40, so he can keep putting food on the table for his family. I don't even know what to think about that. That is something that is completely against the grain for fighters to do. We've seen, especially in Vitor Belfort's situation, he has not addressed the situation where TRT has been brought up, this, that, the other thing, why he keeps on fighting Brazil, because they allow him to use TRT where he wouldn't be able to in Nevada. These theories are out there. But this is the most candid, the most matter of fact that I have ever heard a fighter talk about any sort of performance enhancing or anything along those lines when it comes to fighting, specifically using it to fight longer at that level as opposed to using it for a medical condition. Don't understand why he was so blasé is the best word I can come up with, but that's really the biggest thing that I have personally heard come down newsworthy. It was actually, even though it was not necessarily about the event on June 14th on NBC Sports itself, there's actually a decent amount of conversation when it came to a fighters union, something along those lines, to make it so fighters had a little bit more of a say. And that was really Fitch being the one who has talked more about it recently since his cut from the UFC. He has been a little bit more vocal about having a fighters union. And he was asked if it was related to pay, and he was not so much on the pay part of it. Didn't want to necessarily focus on pay, but just wanted to give the fighters a voice, some sort of medium to be able to express. And another fighter on the card who was on the call, Jacob Volkman, actually came up, and I believe Volkman is also a former UFC fighter, has said he had some ideas and would make it so that every single contract for a fighter would have at least a 2-year minimum. Would also caveat that they would not be able to be cut after one fight, and a minimum show pay of $15,000. So all that said, these fighters would be able to get at least 2 fights, so at least $30,000. Very interesting stuff coming up. Hope you enjoy Embassy Sports on June 14th for that fight. Plenty of stuff coming up still. The rest of the NHL playoffs, the NBA Finals. Great stuff. Always a pleasure being on the air with you guys. Love getting calls when they come in. So don't forget 866-826-1340 every Friday from 2 to 3 o'clock. Randy will be in next week. You can follow the show on Twitter at Knockout Radio. You can follow me at KO Wegs.